Hey everyone, today's video was not planned. I was actually going to do a completely different video about dupes, but I cannot ignore how many people have been asking me to do a video on this. It does kind of cause me a little bit of anxiety even talking about it. I'm going to power through, and I think this is a good time to actually talk about my anxiety and panic attacks because I've been having them quite bad in the last couple of days. If you guys follow me on Snapchat, you would have seen that I had that rash on my neck, and that happened because I had a panic attack before I went on Snapchat. And then I had so many people snapping me asking me, how do I deal with panic attacks? What do I do afterwards? How do I prevent them? I do have a blog post on panic attacks. If you have someone in your life that has panic attacks, or you yourself think you might be suffering from anxiety or panic attacks, go and check out my blog post because I kind of list what it's all about really. I've had anxiety and panic attacks my whole life, and it's just something that I have. I've kind of accepted that it's just part of who I am. Just like some people can have chronic backache or migraines, ulcers, and they just live with it, and it's just the thing that they have. It's just part of the way that my body reacts to certain situations, just like some people react with stress headaches. I get a panic attack. And once you kind of decide, hey, that's just who I am and it's not a big deal, and you put them in the same category of all of those things that we're accepting of other people, then you kind of see it a little bit differently, and it does make it so much easier to handle. If you don't quite understand what panic attacks are, it's basically, the way that I describe it to people is, imagine you're watching a thriller movie and you are on the edge of your seat and you are like blood pumping, heart racing, and you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Imagine that feeling for no reason. That is basically, to me, what a panic attack is. It's an attack of panic on your body for no reason. And I say no reason, sometimes it actually can be for a reason, like it could be something from your past that is kind of brought up that day. It could be something that's gonna happen in the future that you're worried about, that you don't wanna face. But at that particular moment, in that particular moment, there is nothing really happening. And people don't understand how annoying it is to have panic attacks. It's not just something that you can just like, you know, wish away or stop being so sensitive, which really bugs me when people say that. I'm not sensitive to things. I'm a bit of a badass, I think. Certain triggers can bring out panic attacks and anxiety, so I like to make sure that I'm keeping on a nice even level. First thing is sleeping. Really important to get enough sleep. If you are tired, your body's going to go into that adrenaline stage and you're going to start feeling anxious, and you probably end up having a panic attack. So if you're not sleeping at night because of anxiety, try taking a nap, even if you're just there for like 10 minutes, listening to some meditation, reading a book, something quiet and just calming. What I like to do is actually just put on a TV show in the background, something I've seen a million times, but it just kind of relaxes me. Second thing is eat regularly and make sure you're never getting to that hangry stage. Well, there's actually a thing called hangxiety, and it's basically where you're hungry, which can bring on anxiety, so then you end up maybe having a panic attack or feeling really anxious because you haven't had enough food. And this is something that everybody in my life knows about me. I need to eat, and I bring food with me everywhere because I will get a panic attack or feel really anxious and unwell if I don't eat regularly. And I'm just like, yeah, that's just who I am. So my body is going into a different stage and it's running on adrenaline, which can mimic the same reaction as like panic, and then you can end up getting a panic attack or feeling anxious. So that's just really important to make sure you are eating regularly. Another thing is to be careful with what you are actually consuming. So say for coffee, for instance, please be careful with caffeine, because just like anything that can give you that kind of jittery sort of hyper feeling, like a lot of sugars can as well, you just want to make sure you limit those, because that will bring you to that edge point. Because for any of us who suffer from panic attacks, we are basically on the edge all the time, especially if you're going through a particularly stressful time. You're always going to be slightly on the edge because you're sort of waiting for a threat. Because you got to think, panic attacks are basically there because our body's trying to protect us, and it's getting us ready for a threat. Even though there's nothing there, it's getting us to that edge point so that we're hyper aware of everything. And just the same way as you don't want to add in any energy into your body when you're having a panic attack, you also want to make sure you're taking away some of that natural energy buildup. So this means taking walks, exercising, just doing some housework, even doing anything to sort of just get rid of any of that buildup of anxiety and energy that you have. And this can help clear your mind a little bit better, have your body system working a little bit smarter as well, so you probably won't be on the edge and have a panic attack again. So those are ways that you can avoid panic attacks. But if you're actually having one, a couple of things that I like to do is just distract myself. So that might be meditation, a song, a TV show, anything that I can kind of get my brain really into and refocus it away from what I'm kind of feeling anxious about. And then I just wait it out and I just see what happens. I'll see how long it's going to last for. Sometimes they last for a lot longer than others. Sometimes they can bring on you crying. Sometimes you can hyperventilate. There's so many different things that can happen during a panic attack, and I think you just have to customize your reaction and figure out what works for you and what doesn't, because what might work for me might not work for you when you're in the actual moment. And then there's afterwards. So after you've had a panic attack or you have anxiety or whatever it might be, you're probably basically gone into shock. So your muscles are probably very tense. So you're going to feel sore. You're probably sweating because you're kind of almost like having a full body workout with all your muscles tensing up. So you're probably going to have a cold sweat. You're going to feel shivery now. You're going to feel like really run down and worn out. And if you've been crying, you're going to feel dehydrated as well. So there's so many things that can happen to your body after you've had a panic attack. And that's why it's really important to do a couple of different steps. Drink something with a little bit of sugar as well, because your body's gone way down like this. You've got to treat it like you've just had a really bad shock. And what do they do for people who've had a bad shock? They give them something sugary. So I have some lemonade. Eat something kind of bland, maybe some toast, maybe just a plain biscuit. And then because you've had that full body workout, I think it's really important to take a shower to kind of let your muscles relax. Probably like full of sweat, and then you've kind of cooled down so quickly, you're probably going to feel cold and kind of shivery. So take a shower, take a bath, and that will just calm down any of those tense muscles that you might have had in your body. I feel so anxious right now talking about this. Oh, my heart is like bum, 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 bum. But that just is gonna happen. So hopefully you guys don't sense it off me. I hope you don't sense it off me. Never let anybody tell you that it's because you're sensitive or you need to be a little bit tougher or anything like that, because it's like, no. We are badasses, okay? Every single day we deal with the way that our body is reacting to certain things, and we still get through the day. What does that say about us? We're awesome. That's what it says about us. Feel free to leave as many comments as you want and let us know what works for you and what doesn't. And I will see you guys in a video soon. Bye guys. You're awesome. Stay awesome. Okay, bye. I love that show so much that it's literally like an obsession of mine.